it down!
Well, morning glory and hallelujah, everybody. It is the morning after with Nick and Big J. Welcome to Wednesday, 9th day of July 2025. And look who decided to show up to work today.
Son of a bitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, radio's Big J as I live and breathe. How are you, buddy?
Well rested.
Huh?
Well rested, man.
Yeah? Now,
Yeah,
you've
but-
often complained about long weekends kind of screwing up your whole thing, but you don't think that'll hit until Thursday or Friday,
Well,
probably.
this was like almost a week vacation.
Right.
I mean, get down to it. So I think that's fine. I mean, listen, it's not like I've been sleeping in late. I wake up at 4 o'clock automatically, and it's really hard to get back to sleep. So I just kind of lay there. And my self-existence goo.
Well, that sounds
goo.
disgusting.
Mental goo.
Okay. You don't get out of bed? You just lay there?
Well, no, because that will disrupt the entire household.
So what, do you like play on your phone? What do you do?
Yeah, I just sit there and think deep thoughts.
For how long? Like
Jack
what time do you
Handy.
actually then get up?
Right, like 6.
You lay there for just 2 hours
I
doing
might
nothing?
fall asleep
Okay.
maybe again, but it's not really like anything quantitative.
I mean, because what you're describing sounds psychopath. So.
Yeah. So guess what? It's not going to be a problem the rest of the week, though.
All right.
So
Sounds good to me.
my psychosis continues on.
And listen, if you're being honest, that's the secret sauce to this show's success, baby.
Probably.
And so today on the show, I have a movie review for you after you guys selected a movie for Streaming Dumbass.
Can't
Yeah,
wait
you
to
missed
hear
out
this. I
on
forgot all
another
about
one
it.
of those. And then, of course, we also have prizes to give away, including some Social Distortion tickets for the show next Saturday at the Rev Center. We also have tickets to go check out, not tickets, but a gift card to go enjoy some Flying Pie Pizzeria on us. Free Flying Pie, Big J, for Bad Impressions this morning.
Yeah.
So a reason, if you're listening now at 6 o'clock and you're laying in your own goo, just lying in bed, and you're like, why should I
Steal my
go?
words.
Why should I go on with my day? Know that at a little bit after 9 o'clock today, you'll have a chance to win some free flying pie. And so if that's not a reason to get out of bed, I don't know what is. And another Summer of Fun keyword coming your way as well in that 9 o'clock hour, courtesy of week number 4, our trip to Portugal, Big J. Have you ever been? Have you ever thought about going to Portugal?
I haven't, but I believe Kylie and Mason and Adriana they're going to Spain in September, and they're going to move on over to Portugal as well.
It's right next door. And so you might as well. If you want to go to the coast, I mean, there are parts of the Spain that's on the coast, but Portugal is all coastline.
Yeah.
And so if you're looking to beach it up a little bit, Portugal is what you want to hit for sure if you're in that general area. But we are looking forward to having some good times together again, and hopefully you are well
Yay!
as well as Stone Temple Pilots kicks off the morning after with Nick, and yes, now Big J on the X-Rocks.
The morning after with Nick and Big J.
Important stuff is brought to you by the X's Happy Hour, Big J. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
Oh, then I don't have to tell you about it at all.
We're going to happy hour it up.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's a really cool thing we're doing all summer long. We're giving you an opportunity to hang out with us at 8 different establishments over the course of the summer, and it all begins this Friday as we, and more importantly, Adam, Big J, is going to be out broadcasting live from 6 o'clock at night until 8 o'clock at night. So after work, a very special X Happy Hour, and stop number 1 is at Brown Beard Brewing. If you haven't been, there's this great barrel house at 5270 West Chinnen Boulevard in Garden City. It's a pirate-themed pub, Big J.
Arr!
You go in there and you pirate it up and you have a fantastic time and you get some great, awesome beverages and you can hang out for our live broadcast, and there's a ton of prizes that we're going to be giving away, but we're giving you incentives to come to multiple happy hours. We're going to have 8 weeks in a row of us stopping at different establishments across the Treasure Valley. If you hit up 4 happy hours with us, of course, we're going to give you a punch card. Make sure you know you've been there, all those kind of things. We will qualify you for a pair of VIP tickets to X-Fest 2025, where you'll eat and drink for free. That's pretty awesome in our VIP section.
I'll say this, at Brownbeard Brewing this week, if there isn't some ale storm going on, then we're doing something wrong.
Oh, I guarantee it. But if you hit all 8 happy hours, then you win a limited edition commemorative t-shirt. That's pretty legendary as well. So there's prizes involved. The X Happy Hour is up and rocking and rolling. So this Friday, 6 to 8, Brown Beer Brewing Barrel House in Garden City with 100.3 The X. Come on out and join us. And that's a lot of B's, Big J. There's alliteration there coming out of our ears. So come on out and join us. And Adam going to be out there broadcasting live. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you at Brown Beer Brewing Barrel House on Friday, 6 to 8 for the happy hour. Well, Big J, what started out looking really, really optimistic when it comes to Idaho's water supply has turned dark in the last couple of months. It was pretty optimistic earlier on in the year that the water supply was going to be great for farmers and things like that. But now we have registered one of the 3 driest months on record the last 3 months throughout the state of Idaho, which, if you're keeping track at home, Big J, is not great news for the water supply. So the Idaho Department of Water Resources have kind of let everybody know, hey, the Snake River system, which is the state's largest, is feeling the squeeze on reservoirs when it comes to water. So if things don't pick up, we're going to be in drought conditions by mid-August or very early September is what it's looking like. And that, of course, impacts crops. It impacts farmers, most importantly. And so we have ourselves what could be a real serious problem. So we had a little bit of precipitation on the 4th of July, but not enough to make an impact. And that's not great. So we're looking for a little bit more rain. Otherwise, we've got some drought conditions towards the end of the year, which is really bad news for those that make their living farming crops and doing things like that, because that's tough to do in a drought, Big J. And so now we got ourselves an issue, and if that continues, then that leads to problems towards residential people, where they will limit the amount of water, especially if you're on irrigation, that you can use for your lawns and things like that. And that turns into a bunch of brown grass. All the lawn you're working so hard on, Big J, would turn brown really nice.
There's still some brown spots in our lawn. And because for a couple days, our irrigation was off. So now it's just like, And my sister, they just moved here from Montana. They're having a new house built. Mm-hmm. And she was just telling us about how they're installing turf.
Oh, that's your dream.
And she was saying it's not any more expensive as sod, and I'm like, I'm sold.
Now you got to sell the wife.
I mean, because here's the thing, because then you also don't have to have sprinklers. You don't have to have.
Yeah, but what do you do with the dog pee and poop? I mean, poop I get. Pee, what do you do with that?
I don't know. That's a good question. Who knows? I don't know. Just let it soil. What do I care?
Well, but it doesn't go. I mean, if it's on the turf, it just sits there, right?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a turf expert. I know you're pretending to be one here on the radio.
No, I'm not trying to. I'm asking a question.
I'm just saying maybe it absorbs through into the lower ground. I don't know. It's not like you lay concrete.
It's like turf. There's no. It doesn't like go into the earth. You lay down basically a mat.
Turf experts, text it.
Okay, yeah. Tell us what happens with the dog urine.
Let me know if that's a viable operation.
Because it seems like it would be something that would just kind of sit there and then bake in the sun and stink, and then Big J would be mad that his yard smells like dog pee all the time. Lots of NBA insiders have wondered the 25-26 season will be the last for LeBron James, but we certainly know it's going to be the last for another NBA icon, Chris Paul, who is currently a free agent after playing with the San Antonio Spurs last season, says he wants to play one more year at the most, says he misses time with his family. He's 40 years old now, and so he wants to be able to sit down and hug his kids, so we're going to have, wherever Chris Paul may end up, it will be the farewell tour for Chris Paul, Big J. Do you feel like he's an impactful NBA player, one of the best of all time?
I don't think so.
You really don't?
No.
Okay.
What's he done lately?
Lately, listen, it's tough to make it. Unless you're LeBron James, you're not making an impact if you're 39, 40 years old in the NBA. He was a serviceable point guard for the San Antonio Spurs last year, but the Spurs didn't do much. Chris Paul's one of those guys he's in the discussion with the Charles Barkleys of the world. One of the best players to ever play that has never won a championship.
And a notorious trade deal that apparently the NBA messed up way back.
Oh, yeah, when David Stern said, no, thank you, he can't go to the Lakers. Yeah, absolutely. That is true statement. Like David Stern would be spitting in his grave if he saw some of the trades that are happening now to make the superpowers that exist in the NBA. But yeah, he thought it was too much for the Lakers. They would be too good if they had Chris Paul, Kobe, and Shaq, and nobody would watch. But it turns out, Big J, he might be right, because now that there's pretty much a lot of, the NBA has been unpredictable with as far as who wins the last couple of years, but the super teams has probably played an impact as to why fans don't want to tune in, because the regular season now means nothing. It's 82 games of who cares.
And then half the time those guys don't play.
Right. Big J, Ryan Murphy is famous for putting together a bunch of anthology series on FX and Netflix, and he has decided what his third season of his Monster anthology series will be focused on. He will tell the story in a fictionalized version of Lizzie Borden, Big J, according to Variety. This story has been put on TV a couple of times over the last couple of years. I remember Christina Ricci in a show about it like 2 years ago, but this isn't it's the Ryan Murphy angle of things. And so premiere date has not been announced, but we will see when it happens. But just know you're going to get a little Lizzie Borden action. Big J, pop quiz. What do you know about Lizzie Borden?
Not much.
No?
No.
You don't know a thing
I've
about
heard
it.
of the name. I probably used to know more than I know now.
Yeah, if you remember, she was this is back in like, I don't know, 1900s, maybe even the 1800s. But she's the famous young girl that killed her family with an axe. Big J.
Oh, boy.
And so that's what this is, hence the name Monster. It's like one of the first kind of like, I don't know, killings, like mass of like multiple numbers that we've kind of heard of. And so something snapped in her, and now you get to see the TV version of that if you're all into it. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There is your important stuff. It is the X Rocks. Sublime Wrong Way here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. And honestly, Big J, we probably should be a little bit embarrassed.
Uh-oh.
Collectively as a state of Idaho.
Oh, it's, yeah.
Now, I
Pretty used to that.
know that you are not a fan, but let's be honest. One of the biggest things about Idaho, one of our claims to fame, Big J, is we are the home for potatoes. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I love potatoes.
Now,
right?
hang on. We're not there yet. But National French Fry Day is on July 11th, and you have gone on the record saying French fries are not your favorite way to enjoy potatoes.
That's true, yes.
So, maybe, just maybe, you're bringing things down a little bit. But, listen, Idaho is still a very huge place for French fries. We have the Idaho Fry Company, for crying out loud, a restaurant dedicated only to them.
You mean the Boise Fry Company?
What did I say?
Idaho Fry Company.
And so, there's lots of love for these particular things. And so there was a national study done in advance of National French Fry Day coming up on July 11th. To talk about what state consumes the most, what state has the most passion about French fries, all those kind of things. And Idaho, Big J, is buried on this list. Number one with a bullet is Vermont. Doesn't come, nowhere comes anywhere close. And so that's pretty impressive. Alabama, Georgia, Maryland are there. And, you also have yourself Texas coming in at number 5. As far as where the actual state of Idaho is, Big J, 28 on the list of states that enjoys French fries, which is crazy considering how much I would believe if you're an outsider, the one thing you think you know about Idaho is the potatoes and the French fries. We know that, there's a company that supplies all the McDonald's French fries that's here. So there's certainly this history based in our state. But apparently we're not that big fans of them, or at least compared to other places, we're not consuming as much as them. Now, maybe that's a population thing. I really don't know. I mean, it could very well be. There's more people. But then again, I mean, Vermont is number 1, so it can't be,
Where do
right?
we land on the tater tots list?
This is about National French Fry Day, so it's not there. They didn't investigate
now,
tater
I like
tot.
a good tater tot. Or
But
a tater keg, even better.
You'll have to wait until Tater Keg Day, which I'm sure there is one, for you to get that particular research. But basically...
See if the... I can't wait until we post the video podcast.
And so, well, what can you do? What can you do? You have to stop for that. But it basically is an interesting kind of way of kind of getting into information. As far as what type of fries Idaho likes, give us the straight, give us the seasoned. That beat out the crinkle cut, that beat out the curly fry, and that beat out the waffle fry as well. And shoestring was very near the bottom of the list of how people enjoy their fries. But as far as, what kind of goes on, ketchup is number 1, ranch comes in at number 2, and then we enjoy carne asada fries, we like chili cheese fries, and then fish and chips are the ways that Americans enjoy kind of fries on the side of particular things. But I kind of thought Idaho would be up there considering our history, but no, we're middle of the pack at best.
Yeah, wow.
And it made me a little bit sad. It's
a bummer.
Yeah. But listen, now you know. Maybe we got to up our game a little bit so we can represent the thing that makes this state famous. Let's go. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your fry update. It is the X Rocks.
Here's traffic inside the
That is Tool, that is Stinkfist here on the morning after with Nick and Big J. Big J was out the last couple of days, so I gleefully took his place in a little thing called Streaming Dumbass, whereas you guys selected a movie for me to watch last night, and so I did so.
Yeah, what'd you watch, man?
Well, I'll be honest, like, you know,
What were the options?
The options were, movie number one was basically I went to the new releases on Peacock and picked out the three movies that had just came out. One was called The Woman in the Yard. The second one was called Maggie Moore's, which the first one was a horror movie. The second one was Maggie Moore's, which I believe is like a romantic comedy starring John Hamm and Tina Fey. And I'll be honest, when I put them up for grabs, I was hoping for movie number two because I like John Hamm and I like Tina Fey. And I had never heard of the movie, and I thought it might be might be fun. But movie number three was the one that won, and that was a film called The Ballad of Wallace Island. And I picked it because I thought I had never heard of it, and I was like, well, it's in the new releases. I certainly haven't seen it. It can go in there and see what happens. But that was the one that was picked by listeners yesterday, and then I didn't get a chance because I was so stupid busy yesterday to sit down and do any research on the movie. So I didn't watch the trailer, and I didn't look it up. I just was like, okay, I'll do it, and I'll watch it tonight. And it's available on Peacock. And I realized as I was watching the movie, I cannot remember what movie you and I went to, but for the podcast, this was a trailer for one of the movies that we saw.
Oh,
and
okay.
I don't remember having any kind of visceral reaction to the trailer, other than it was an interesting premise. And when I sat down and watched the movie, I first I have to say thank you to the listeners for picking out this movie, because honestly, it's almost like this movie was made for me. I straight up loved this movie. I think hands down, at least for me so far, this is the funniest movie of the year. It's absolutely hilarious to me, this film. And then it also is probably, I mean, it definitely is. It's in my top 5 movies of the year that I have seen. It came out in theaters, mostly like Flicks-like theaters, because it's an independent film. Like, the stars of this movie aren't anybody you've ever heard of outside of Carey Mulligan, maybe, and that depends on what kind of movies you watch, if we're being perfectly honest. But this movie originated, as I learned after I watched the film and wanted to digest as much information as I could. 18 years ago, 2 of the stars of this movie, Tim Key and Tom Basden, made a short. And it was like, it won like the UK edition of the Oscars for Best Short Film. And then these guys kind of went on to had, I'm not going to say middling careers, but they've been solid, but mostly over in the UK and mostly in the world of television and those kind of things. But for some reason, something happened last year where Carey Mulligan, I guess, had picked this up, and she's got enough Hollywood power where they're like, why don't we make a longer movie out of this? And so they did, and they changed some of it, but they brought back the 2 main actors. And it's a terrific film, and I think the less you know about it, the better. I'll give you the basic rundown, which is essentially there is a gentleman that is a huge fan of a band, a folk rock band from like the 90s that were huge. Think a la like the White Stripes, right? Okay. Very huge band, and then broke up and pretty much disappeared. And one of them went on to have kind of like a solo career that was okay, but the other one pretty much disappeared from
like Meg White,
from society. And so this guy is like, hey, listen, I've got money. Why don't I invite them to play a private show and give them a ridiculous amount of money on this island? And they haven't seen each other in years, and there's a lot of weird things going on in the background and a lot of animosity there, and neither of them know they're coming, and it kind of builds this kind of thing where he's putting together this performance on this tiny island over in Wales. So the movie is beautiful because it's shot on this beautiful Welsh island in the middle of nowhere.
You're like, oh, I've been there.
And well, I haven't been to this place, but I wanted to go after I saw it. And then also, you know, it's basically, you know, these people are trapped there because there's only one way in and one way out. And so that leads to some of it. But Tim Key is the man who plays the person that put this all together. He is straight up fantastic. He's a comedian as well, and he's incredibly funny. Tom Basden, who's somebody you've never heard of, also performs a majority of the songs and wrote the songs for the movie. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the songs are amazing, because they're not. That's one of those things where it's like, okay, you have to, I guess, suspend disbelief there to believe that the band would be huge. But it's still impressive to see somebody play these songs live, and you can tell they're not like lip-synced or pre-recorded or anything. It's also a certain amount of talent there as well. And there's just a lot of funny and interesting and eccentric things that happen when they're on this island. And then things don't go as planned, and there has to be backup plans. But it's a really, really fun and good movie. So it may not be for everyone, but there's a reason why this movie has a 94% Rotten Tomatoes score and a 93% audience score. I think if you spend some time with it and you watch it, I think you'll walk away going, that was a good movie. But I also can see people going, that's just not for me. There's a lot of wordplay. It's a very dialogue-heavy film, and I think it's written really, really well and in a fun and interesting way with a lot of different kind of funny things put aside. There's not a lot of physical comedy in the movie, but there's a lot of verbal comedy, if that makes sense. And, this guy, this person, Charles, that puts this all together is a very weird dude and has a lot of weird things about him, which makes it very, very funny. So it's a short movie. It's an hour and 40 minutes. I would suggest you don't know as much about it as you want to. If you want to watch the trailer, that's fine. I don't think it gives away too much, but the less you know, I feel like the better off you are. But I think this is an absolute straight up amazing film. It would be, if we were doing the podcast, I'd give it an A, very close to an A+. It's a terrific film. I recommend that you watch it, and you have to search it out. Like, it's not like Peacock is plugging this film. You have to do a search for it. But if you do, The Ballad of Wallace Island will be a movie I hope you enjoy as much as I did, and I will take honor in banging the drum for this film because I know a lot of people haven't seen it, but it's really, really, really good.
Cool, man.
So it was a winner. It wasn't the movie I wanted to see, but by the time I was over, I was like, man, I'm really glad I watched that movie. That's going to be one of my favorites of the year for sure. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Some important stuff are next on the X Rocks.
Important stuff.
Launch newsfeed.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Big J, I don't know if you want to take credit for this. I suppose you could if you wanted to, but I think we've at least been on the right side of history when it comes to it. But at least according to a new survey, it shows, Big J, at least here in the United States of America, people are trying to prioritize their mental health, and that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
A study recently revealed that 77% of Americans are starting to prioritize their inner well-being, specifically over their outward appearance, Big J. We don't really care so much what we look like on the outside as long as we feel good on the inside, you know?
Damn.
In 2025, 30% of participants have adopted a more mindful health approach, focusing on body cues, mental processes, emotional responses. Before you know it, Big J, this whole country is going to be journaling. And then what do you do?
And we get healthy.
The research was conducted by Talker Research, of course, also found that over a quarter of respondents have started taking their inner health seriously over the past calendar year. Popular daily wellness acts including prioritize sleep, eating nourishing meals, talking to therapists, engaging activities that help the inner part of them feel good. All of these things are leading to better mental health in the United States, although it doesn't seem that way, Big J, does it?
No.
But maybe on an individual level, we're just like, listen, we can't let what's happening affect us as much as we want. I need to be able to make sure I am happy with myself, and then we can figure out the rest from there.
Yeah.
But
there's a fine line, though, between I can't say the damn word.
Compartmentalizing?
Yes. And ignoring.
Yes.
You know, so you got to be aware of what you're shoving to the side.
It's true. Because eventually that will play an impact on your mental health as well. It'll sneak up on you before you know it and go, hey, remember this? Look at me. I'm
and
trauma.
It's the Joker's laugh.
Oh, no. The Mark Hamill Joker? Or that feels a little Mark Hamill. Hey, Big J, Patrick Bailey, one of your favorite baseball players, was the hero last night.
Great pitcher.
For the San Francisco Giants. He's a catcher. And he provided the highlight of the night by hitting a game-winning 3-run inside the park home run by a catcher, Big J. That never happened.
Who's it? Jorge Posada?
Patrick Bailey. His team was down 3-1 against the Phillies in the bottom of the ninth. Bailey then drove the first pitch that he saw from the Phillies reliever Jordan Romano to the right center field, which ricocheted off the brick wall, rolled away from the center fielder. Bailey then sprinted around the bases, scored easily, became the third catcher in Major League history to hit a game-ending inside the park home run. But it's called one of the exciting plays in baseball, most exciting play in baseball, for a reason. Inside the park home runs rarely happen, but it happened last night, and it was a game winner, which is bonkers. But the place was going nuts, obviously, for lots of reasons. So congratulations to Patrick Bailey and to the San Francisco Giants for winning that game. Big J, I know you don't care about The Devil Wears Prada 2, but they are bulking up the cast. Do you understand me?
Oh, God.
Already we know Meryl Streep's involved, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci. They're all there. But now they've added Lucy Liu. Are you interested?
Yeah, now that Lucy Liu is I'm going to go watch the first one. It's going to be great.
They've also added Justin Theroux.
Oh.
Of course.
I don't
He
care
was
about.
recently in Beetlejuice, a movie that you love.
Yeah.
And they've added former guest the morning after BJ Novak, Big J.
Ooh.
And then Pauline Calumet, who I don't know who that is. But they've all been added to the cast of The Devil Wears Prada 2. It already has a release date, May 1st. It's filming now. And so if you're excited, this thing is an all-star cast. They're going to beef this thing up. And Meryl Streep gets to be a really mean person again. And isn't it nice when Meryl Streep gets to play the villain? She's always the hero, Big J.
Sure.
She's always making Sophie choices. But now she has a chance to be the jerk again. So get ready. It's coming to theaters next year. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We are going to go to hell. It's going to happen next on the X Rocks.
Stories that are incredibly f***ed up. Oh man, we're going to hell.
Rotten hell, you worthless maggot!
The Morning After with Nick and Big J on 100.3 The X Rocks.
Sit back, Big J. Let me tell you a tale of something that is pretty bonkers.
Okay.
33-year-old man goes into an emergency room, Big J. Does not feel well. We're talking pale face.
Oh, no.
Sweating profusely.
Heart attack.
Complaining of serious stomach pain.
Oh.
So they feel the man's abdomen. It's hard as a board. So they're like, okay, this could be fatal. We need to do a CT scan as quickly as possible. Big J, inside the CT scan, they see a foreign object that seems to have pierced the stomach and ended up in the abdominal cavity. So they're like, listen, this is going to go fatal quick. Let's perform some laparoscopic surgery and see if we can't figure out what this foreign object is. They open this guy up, Big J. When they do, they see, exploring the man's abdomen, a live eel swimming among his organs, Big
What?
J. Not
Swimming around inside his abdomen?
Not just any teeny tiny eel. This thing was almost 5 feet long when they pulled it out of him.
What the hell?
Now, during the operation, the doctors found out that the eel had completely drilled through the intestinal wall, and that was leading him now to be swimming around in his abdominal cavity, which, of course, was causing him to feel really, really bad.
Oh, you think? Drilled through something?
So they used a clamp-like instrument and grabbed and removed the eel, and then they sutured the hole in his colon and his intestines and flushed the abdominal cavity to minimize the risk of infection. After the surgery, the man recovered well. Believe it or not, was discharged from the hospital. We don't have a name because all this stuff showed up in a medical journal. That's how we know what happened.
Eel stomach guy.
Now, we don't know what happened to the eel, but the eel is an animal that is accustomed to living in really dirty and bottom kind of feeding environments, like ponds, lakes, streams, canals, lots of swampy water.
Keep me right out of the water, bro.
It's known to dig holes in relatively soft soil, so that is why they feel like this eel easily pierced through this poor man's intestine and was able to swim around freely in his stomach. It had to look like an alien, like a xenomorph, right?
Like, I mean, that's what I was thinking. Oh, this guy is going to pop out a damn alien. I mean, but that's pretty much what it is. It's alien to his damn body.
Now, in the medical report, it did not get into how the eel got into the man, but it's not too difficult to deduce, Big J. Where this location was, there's lots of swamps and lakes and murky waters. The guess is, by everybody that's read the story, is guy was swimming or wading in a lake, and eel said, hey, here's a fun little place to be, and went right up the colon, Big J.
Good Lord.
And that's how the eel got in. Now, interestingly, Big J, if you remember, it's a rare case, but not as rare as you might think. Last year, almost the exact same thing happened. Now, this eel did not pierce the intestinal cavity, nor was it still alive when they took out the prior eel, but not the first time that the eel has found a colon to squeeze into and try to find a new home inside of a human body. So, this is a thing that can happen, and something I guess you need to be aware of that could possibly happen if you be hanging around in like dirty water or in lakes that maybe don't seem clean or some swamps or whatever the case may be. Watch out for eels. because they don't need a whole lot of room to get where they want to go. You know what I'm saying, Big J?
Yeah, apparently so.
And like, I've got pictures of this eel. It's very big. It's very frightening. It looks, I mean, it obviously grew when it was inside, but God, I mean, it was probably eating like intestines and stuff. So I don't know, man. It's full on nightmare fuel, and I don't like it.
Yeah, my tummy hurts a little bit today. Now I'm worried.
Were you swimming recently?
No.
Then you're all right. Unless you've been sitting on eels that I don't know about.
No. God,
Okay.
I hope not.
We'll see. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your We're Going to Hell story. It is the X Rocks. Evanescence Afterlife here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Big J, I need your advice because you have years and years of experience in this world, and I'm fairly new to it. So I want to make sure that I am doing everything I can to save as many lives as possible, Big J.
Oh, man.
So those of you that are married, maybe haven't heard over the last couple of weeks, I have purchased a new vehicle. I have a CX-50 from Mazda. But one thing I wanted to do when I upgraded my car was I wanted to get a hybrid vehicle because I drive a lot. I was tired of paying as much money as I was in gas. I've only had it for about a month or so. It's already paid dividends for how little I'm filling up and how much it costs to fill up my tank.
Yeah,
so
like once so far, probably.
Exactly. It's been once in almost a month. And I'm very, very happy about it. And so no complaints as far as that is concerned. But the one thing that you may not know about hybrids if you've never driven one is how truly quiet they are, Big J. When you turn on your vehicle, it's the summertime, so the only way I really know my car is on is because the air conditioning comes on, and then I'm like, okay, I'm rock and roll. It's a very quiet ride. It makes it enjoyable as well. But one thing I have noticed, as I am not a complete jerk, and if I see an animal in the road, I will slow down and I will try to avoid it so that I don't hit it. As far as I know, I have not hit an animal in my entire driving career. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, damn lucky.
Very lucky. But part of it is because, like, I don't want to. You know, there's lots of things that cross. I try to be careful and make sure that
What's the smallest creature you'll try to avoid?
Anything. I don't want to hit anything.
Okay. So squirrels.
Yeah, squirrels.
You'll veer off into traffic just to
I've never
protect
had
the
to veer
squirrel.
off into traffic. I will slow down. I will hit the brakes.
It's one of those decisions I dread. Is like, no, squirrel, don't. This is not the time to run. I'll see them. And I'm like, you stay there because I cannot veer off into traffic for you.
Yeah, I don't want to veer off into traffic. I certainly won't put my life or my family's life at risk of a squirrel, but I've never been in that situation. So I've always been able to avoid it in other ways by slowing down. But here's what I have noticed, and it's since I have started driving this hybrid, animals don't hear me coming, I don't think. And so they are taking, like, it takes them forever to get out of my way. It's happened almost 3 times since I've gotten this car. You drive early in the morning, there's lots of things that cross. Like, birds would fly out of the way in ahead. Now I've had to, like, seriously slow down because I have almost hit a bird that I don't know. The only thing I can think of is it has no idea that I'm coming.
Birds, they're not reacting to stuff they hear.
They used to.
I
mean, like, they used to get out of the way.
That way. Yeah, I think they still, if you hit a bird, I'd be very surprised.
But now,
like, even if it looks like, I almost hit that bird, you weren't close.
But it seems like they're taking their time and getting the hell out of my way. So I get very concerned about it, and I wonder if that is something that you have encountered with your vehicle.
No.
Other than
I've never even thought about that.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, only because of the vast difference I've noticed between the vehicles.
My caution is, one, make sure you turn it off when you get out, and whether that's to get gas or just to get out of the car. Remember, I mean, these are new things. Like, I've had this now, I think, my Prius for 2 years or so. And, I've only had 2 incidences that I know of.
Oh, I feel like you've had that much longer than that. It's only been 2 years?
18 years. I mean, you're right. It's been a few years. I wish it was paid off. And we have a very long-term plan on that, I guess. But you're right. It may be 4 or 5 years. But, it's only happened a couple times where I've had that issue where I forgot to turn it off when I filled it up with gas. And then I left it on like just a month ago. I left it on outside my house.
Yeah, overnight, right?
Yeah. Not overnight.
Oh, because somebody caught it on the way home.
Somebody caught it.
It would have been overnight.
It would have been, yeah. So it's one of those things that can sneak up on you. But I do hate that they're so quiet. And I miss, the throaty sound of a V8 engine. I wish that they could replicate that.
Well, that's what you got your bike for.
In some cases, they do replicate that, but I mean, it's not in a satisfactory way.
Yeah, it seems silly. I mean, you're getting it for those particular reasons, and that's part of the thing that goes along with it. I don't know if I need a fake noise to help me, but listen, to each their own, I guess. But I have noticed that it seems like it takes much longer for animals to get the hell out of my way and I'm not driving any faster or more erratic than I was before. It just feels like it was one of those things where they got out of the way before because they heard me coming, and now because they can't, it like takes forever.
I wonder if they're just, like it's red, and so they're like, ooh, red.
You think?
Yeah.
All right.
And they're like, I mean, that's fun.
I've driven a red car before. It hasn't been like that either. I don't know. I do not know.
I think you're fine. I think it's a much ado about nothing.
Well, we'll figure it out. It's close, but I wanted some advice. But as per usual, you are of no help.
I just said don't worry about it.
Morning
There's
after
no advice needed.
With Nick and Big J.
Coming up for nothing.
In a few minutes, some important stuff as well as your pop culture smackdown. It's next on the X.
On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
Important stuff brought to you by T Mazda, the pre-owned superstore. Getting financed at T Mazda even easier now thanks to a website. It's called GoTeamCredit.com. Everybody gets pre-approved with no effect on your credit. Try it. Log on to GoTeamCredit.com today and get started. Big J?
Yeah, man.
The yearly Health States Index is out, my friend.
Oh, yay. We're doing so great.
Well,
oh, no.
We used to. I mean, at one point we were top 5, then we were top 10. Big J, in the year 2025, Idaho was out of the top 15.
What has happened to us?
Don't know. But Vermont leads the rankings. This is the second study this morning that Vermont has been on top. 8.69 points, boasting the highest concentration of healthy food stores, clean air, and parks. New Hampshire, Washington, Maine, and Utah follow closely behind, with strong access to gyms and outdoor recreation. Idaho does really well in outdoor recreation, but we do poorly with things like healthy food stores, clean air, and we don't have a ton of parks. It seems like we should, but we don't. And so that made us our rating go down to about 7.53. Still in the upper echelon, Big J. We're sitting at 17. But for a state that used to be in the top 5, what the hell's going on, dude?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've lost weight, so it's not my fault.
In contrast, Louisiana ranks lowest with only 4.97 points, facing challenges such as limited wellness activities and the highest smoking rate in the state or in the country. Nevada, also high smoking rates, which comes in second to last, then Tennessee, then West Virginia, and then Alabama.
Smoke.
The study emphasizes the link between infrastructure and health outcomes, highlighting the importance of investing in parks, clean air policies, healthy food access for promoting longer, healthier lives, Big J. So we have some work to do. We used to be at the upper echelon of this, and now we're falling backwards. I will say this. In this study, at least, the coastal states are doing really, really well. So it appears to have some sort of beach life increases this kind of stuff, or maybe you're just more prone to being outdoors in that particular type of environment. But almost all of the states that were in the top 10 now have some sort of coastline attached to them, be it West Coast or East Coast. So that's an interesting correlation as well. Just something I noticed looking at the map. The darker blue areas, which were good, were on the outskirts of the country. And then as you got indoors or innards a little bit more, it started to fade away. And then you're left with Louisiana, Big J, who also has some coastline, but strangely enough, just gross. Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas has been selected to host the 2028 NCAA Men's Final Four, so we know where you're going to be in a couple years. It hasn't taken long for the city to become a sports powerhouse. The NFL and the NHL already playing there. Major League Baseball is on the way. Vegas hosts March Madness games, meaning another event that involves big money with sports bettors will be held in the city with nearly 200 sports books. So it's not a surprise that that's where they're headed for the Final Four, considering the amount of money that goes through that for it. But it is interesting to say that it's going to take that long to get there. But who knows? At that point, Big J, maybe there'll be a Vegas school that actually has a good basketball program, although I won't hold my breath.
Well, again.
Yeah. Well, if you remember,
for a brief period of
correct.
time.
But they were incredibly cheating their way to that particular.
See, here's the thing. I don't remember that.
You don't remember Jerry Tarkanian getting banned from college basketball?
No.
And then having to coach at Fresno State because he was banned? Oh, really?
No, this is the thing where I don't think people really care that much.
Well, I don't think you care that much.
Sure.
But I think at the time it was
but people be like, yeah, man, UNLV basketball was pretty damn good back in the day.
It was a really, really big story that they were cheating their way to the top. Big J, there will be a third part of Dune, according to Denis Villeneuve, and we have a title. It's not going to be called Dune Messiah, as we originally thought, because that's the book that it's going to be named after. Instead, Big J, brace yourself, it will be called Dune Part 3.
Whoa!
It will adapt the Frank Herbert 1969 book that follows Paul Atreides as he becomes emperor. The movie will include sequences filmed with IMAX cameras, kind of the way Christopher Nolan is currently putting together the Odyssey. That's what they're going to do, but listen, I enjoyed Dune Part 1. I loved Dune Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
really
sure I'm on board for Dune Part 3 as well. Even though I have never read the books and have been told to stay away because apparently they're very hard to read, I will be very much looking forward to Dune Part 3. Agree or disagree, Big J?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. Your Pop Culture Smackdown is next on the X.
Pop Culture Smackdown.
Right.
Pop Culture Smackdown. On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Glitch in the Matrix.
I don't like that.
Pop Culture Smackdown time, and it's back the regular way. We got a great prize for you. That Social Distortions show has been rescheduled for Saturday, July 21st. So we're going to get you set up with a pair of those tickets by beating Nick in Pop Culture Smackdown at some point. Today is a special day. It's Tom Hanks' birthday. So we're going to do a little bit of Tom Hanks special Pop Culture Smackdown.
208-287-1003 is the number you need to call if you'd like to play this game. All you have to do is beat me, which may be pretty easy today. We shall see, but good luck. There's some pretty nice tickets on the line here. Hello, the X.
How's it going?
Good, man. What's up? What's your name?
Ryan.
All right, Ryan. You're up first, man.
Tom Hanks made a real splash in his breakout film role in 1984. What was it? Splash, Big, or Bachelor Party?
Big.
It is incorrect.
All right, thank
Sorry,
you,
Ryan.
Yeah, see, this thing is being weird. Hello, the X.
Hey, I'd like to play this game.
Wonderful.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Tom Hanks made a real splash in his breakout film role in 1984. What was it? Splash, Big, or Bachelor Party?
I'll say Bachelor Party.
Okay. No.
Sorry, that's incorrect.
Nobody's
I can't play
listening.
right or wrong today because it's going weird.
I don't know.
Hello,
Nobody
the
cares.
X. Morning. Here comes Big J with your question.
Tom Hanks made a real splash in his breakout film role in 1984.
Flash.
Thank you. Yes. I mean, I literally was giving everybody the answer. And no, you're the first person to pick up on it. So, congrats. You get extra credit just for that. Nick, what movie landed Tom Hanks his very first Oscar for Best Actor in a lead role?
I believe that was Philadelphia.
Philadelphia is correct. Let's see. Tacey, the next year in 1994, Hanks won again, but for what movie? Was it Big, Forrest Gump, or Saving Private Ryan?
Big.
No, that is incorrect. Sorry. Thank you for playing, though.
That was back in the 80s.
Hello, the X. Whoa.
Good morning.
Good morning. Here comes Big J with your question.
The next year, 1994, Hanks won again, but for what movie? Was it for Big, Forrest Gump, or Saving Private Ryan? And we're talking about best lead role in the Oscars.
Yeah, I'll say Saving Private Ryan.
That is incorrect.
No, he was nominated but didn't win for that one, and it was a couple years later. Hello, the X.
Hey, how's it going?
One more time.
yeah, you get another shot here. All right, the next year, 1994, Hanks won an Oscar again for lead actor in a role. But what movie was it for? Was it for Big, Forrest Gump, or Saving Private Ryan?
Forrest Gump.
There you go.
Nailed it.
A box of chocolates. Nick, in the movie Wilson, Tom Hanks' character survives a plane crash and is stranded on an island. Why are you laughing?
You got the name of the movie wrong. You said in the movie Wilson. Tom Hanks.
Gosh. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. In the movie Castaway, Tom Hanks' character survives a plane crash and is stranded on an island. Who is his employer?
FedEx.
FedEx. That's correct, Nick. What real-life pilot did Hanks portray in a 2016 Clint Eastwood directed film? Was it Sully Sullenberger, Chuck Yeager, or Amelia Earhart?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you, Ryan.
Yeah.
It was the first one.
Yes, Sully Sullenberger. That's correct. Nick, which 1988 film earned Hanks his first ever Oscar nomination?
That was Big.
That was Big. That is 100% correct. What was the name of the volleyball in Castaway?
Wilson.
There you go, Wilson. And Nick, what was Tom Hanks' directorial debut, which he also starred in and wrote?
I believe. Oh, hang on. That Thing You Do.
That Thing You Do is correct. All right, I'm out of questions.
Yeah, we know our Tom Hanks, Ryan. Good
Not
job,
really.
man. What do you mean, not really?
I mean, it took Ryan about five chances.
I know my Tom Hanks, Ryan.
Yeah, you do.
Hang on 1 second, dude. We'll hook you up with those Social D tickets. Well played. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We got our headlines next on the X.
For whatever that's worth.
It's Headlines on the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Headlines are as follows, Big J. Teach no. Good dog. And let's fight.
Good dog.
All right. Rescuers praised a Chihuahua for guiding them to a hiker who had fallen into a crevasse on the Free Glacier in southern Switzerland.
A crevasse.
The man, whose identity remains undisclosed, plummeted approximately 26 feet after breaking through a snow bridge. Whoa! Equipped with a walkie-talkie, he managed to contact somebody nearby who alerted emergency services. However, his precise location was unknown until the passing pooch caught the attention of a rescue team member. The rescuers located the man, extracted him from the crevice, and airlifted him and his loyal dog to a hospital. Spokespeople credited the Chihuahua with potentially saving this man's life, Big J. A Chihuahua is a rescue dog? Who knew?
Crazy. But some Taco Bell.
I guess so. He deserves something. It's a good dog right there.
Good boy.
Also, I mean, like, Chihuahuas aren't like dogs I figure you would take on a hike with you. You know what I mean? Their little legs. It'd be like,
yeah, you got to hold it.
They can't really, like...
You got to hold it like Paris Hilton.
Right, take care of that kind of weird terrain that you might find in a hike. But I guess, hey, listen, this Chihuahua is a super Chihuahua, so there's that. Teach no or let's fight?
Let's fight.
A bizarre and violent scene unfolded at a GameStop in Colma, California over the weekend, Big J, when a pair of grown-ass men got into a fistfight over Pokemon cards. Police say the fight reportedly started when one man tried to cut in line to buy a set of Pokemon cards, and then things escalated quickly when he allegedly struck another man in the back of the head with a glass mason jar. Yeah!
Damn.
A second suspect then used the broken glass to stab the victim several times. The victim then had to be rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries, but is now in stable condition. Police arrested both suspects later that day. They've been identified as 27-year-old Isaiah Callis and 49-year-old Mike Flores. Both are facing multiple charges, including assault with a deadly weapon and conspiracy to commit a crime all over Pokemon cards, Big J.
Well, they're worth a lot of money, man.
Yeah, I don't know enough about them, but I mean, it seems like they were standing in line just to buy Pokemon cards. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
What?
It's packs, man.
I understand.
They got valuable cards inside them.
But are they like limited edition packs? Is that how they work? I don't know.
They can be.
I don't know enough about it.
Or they're like near the end of their run kind of thing.
Maybe. Listen, I still think it's a dumb reason to stab somebody over. But
well, yeah.
Any dumber than like baseball cards would be, I suppose. But people are passionate about interesting things, Big J. But I can't imagine ever wanting to take a mason jar to the back of the head over a set of Pokemon cards, let alone be stabbed with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, hey, listen, you can take these Pokemon cards, man.
I mean, one of these might be worth $30,000, but
that's cool.
Have it. I don't need the money. I'm a Nick.
Not only that, but it's going to cost me at least $30,000 to stitch up my whole stomach after you stab me, and I'm in critical condition and need like a 5-day hospital stay. There goes that $30,000. Probably more than that.
Some people, they don't like to do that.
They just stitch themselves up?
Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of Pokemon collectors.
What they do is they get a knife really hot and they just put it on their side of their body and scream like Rambo.
That does not register with the Pokemon fans I know. Wrap it up with Teach No. A UK teacher named Alice Ashton has been banned from teaching, Big J, after a hearing found her guilty of unacceptable professional conduct. What was she doing? Well, she was accused of swearing at pupils, dancing the Macarena, and then drinking alcohol while she was working.
Sounds like a great teacher. What are you talking about?
The Education Workforce Council panel heard testimonies from pupils and school staff, leading to her removal from the school system indefinitely. Ashton did not attend the hearing, but she may reapply after 2 years. The investigation was prompted by parents' concerns, with pupils reporting apparently Ashton, every time she met with people's like parent-teacher conferences, she always reeked of alcohol. And then the student said that she was probably teaching while she was drunk as well. And they had it on camera of her doing some erratic behavior during a lesson. And you can't be drunk at work, Big J. I'm sorry. I know you think that's cool, but you just can't do it.
All right, well, time for me to get out of here.
Yep. It's been a good Wednesday. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your headlines. You're up to date on everything. Another keyword coming your way for Summer of Fun week number 4. That's next on the X Rocks. That is Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen, and the end here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. And if the plans are laid out like they're supposed to, Big J, there could be an icon moving into the Treasure Valley.
Yeah.
One like we haven't seen since the In-N-Out days.
Yeah, and it might be even a bigger deal than that, especially for a lot of the folks who have moved here from Texas, Nick, because according to Boise Dev yesterday, they broke some news that Buc-ees, the convenience store gas station, was looking to come to the Treasure Valley. It's a location that's about just northwest of Meridian Road at the interstate, I-84 there, with a huge 30-acre plot. They've been having some meetings, and so this could be happening as years down the road, but we're talking like a ginormous gas station, Buc-ees, where there's at least 100 pumps, Nick. One of the biggest that they have, 70,000 square feet, I think, is what I read, which would be crazy. But for those of you who don't know, Buc-ees is a convenience store from, I don't even want to call it a convenience store. I mean, in some respects, they're truck stops, but they're also, just gas stations.
They focus on like long distance car rides.
Yeah.
Like it's not a truck stop. It's like specifically for people that are driving cars, but like it's like this. The one they're talking about, Meridian, would have 104 pumps. It's huge. And it's also a convenience store / kind of restaurant.
Yes.
And grocery store.
So I wouldn't feel bad about leaving my car at the pump on this one if there's 100 pumps and then going inside, because what they're known for, Nick, is the cleanest bathrooms on the road. Like, they take that bleep seriously.
I remember that was the one thing that I'd heard about Buc-ees. The whole food thing and the brisket stuff, that was new to me.
Man.
But I remember hearing that, like, if you're on the road and you need a bathroom break, Buc-ees is where you want to stop because it's clean and it's not like a gross, like, listen, when we were on the road a bunch, we saw some gross bathrooms,
It's
dude.
bad. It's bad out there. And you never know what you're going to get. I mean, you take your chances at a rest stop. You shouldn't do that when you go into a convenience store. But you mentioned it, the barbecue. Yeah, they have, because it's Texas, they've got fresh barbecue. We're talking brisket that is just available all the time. Jerky, all kinds of, they've got a huge amount of food. Texas-sized convenience store meets a legit restaurant is what they say. So it's something I would be on board for. I've never been to one, at least that I remember. Maybe as a kid with my dad, but I doubt
they didn't really become a thing until like 2003. So probably not.
Yeah. So I would love to check it out. But there aren't any, there aren't a whole lot of these west of Texas. So it's interesting that they would identify Boise as a place that they want a growing metropolis. Metropolis. Yeah, I can't formulate words. You take a couple days off and you forget how to talk. Jeez. Either way, I would be totally into this if this does come to fruition.
I'm kind of excited as well. Now, the one thing that they did say is it doesn't happen everywhere, but they have expanded recently. There's a couple, mostly in the southern part of the United States, but there is a couple that have caused some traffic problems because Buc-ees are popular in the social media crowd. So people go to make videos, and that has caused some traffic situations. So they try not to do it in high traffic areas, but there are other places where they thought it was going to be a problem, and it hasn't been at all. And it kind of reminds me of the In-N-Out here. Everybody was really worried about the traffic. And listen, they've got it mapped out, I think, where it makes a lot of sense. I'm trying in my head to picture at I-84 and Meridian where this would be and something that big would be. Other than in that space right off the on-ramp, I can't think of any other place that it would be that's kind of on the entrance to the freeway in one of them, unless it's in between. But even then, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So it's hard for me to picture where this would be, but I don't foresee... Listen, the traffic can't get any worse in that area, so I don't imagine it's going to be that bad, especially if it's near an on- and off-ramp. I think you should be okay, but it'll be interesting to see if this comes to fruition, for sure.
And if you get stuck there, that's all right. I don't mind.
Listen, you can live there as far as from what at least the videos I've seen.
There's brisket there. The closest one, Nick, to us, I just looked this up, is in Colorado outside of Fort Collins.
Okay. So, yeah.
So
they're
I might
expanding.
have to make a trip just to go check it out. See you guys later.
That'd be something for you to make a trip for a convenience store to which you've never been. I could understand if there's a passion, but We will see if it ends up happening. But yeah, there's still a lot of City of Meridian OKs that need to be done. They have to complete the sale. It's still not purchased yet. They kind of put in an offer. So we're a ways away from this happening. But as we've noticed with In-N-Out, when they get the okay, stuff can move fast. But this is a much bigger build than anything In-N-Out has put together.
Yeah, and Buc-ees, you want to be a part of this great community, you should go with the biggest morning show in the Treasure Valley.
Come on board. Big J will tell you exactly how good your brisket is.
Yeah.
And you won't pull any punches unless, of course, you pay him to pull punches. Morning After with Nick. I'm just
taking
saying.
a shot at my credibility,
No
pal.
way. No way. I'm just trying to get you more money is my point.
Thank you.
We got ourselves
Gonna
some
need it.
bad impressions. They are next on the X Rocks.
This summer, great.
Bad impressions.
So far, I'm not impressed.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Yeah, we'll be impressed by this, Mr. Voice Guy. How about $25 gift card to Flying Pie Pizzeria?
No.
They got a bunch of locations throughout the Treasure Valley, and you don't have to just mow down on a habanero pizza if you don't. They want to. They have tons of other options. I mean, I love the fromage à trois, fromage. That's a different fromage. It's like triple cheeses and stuff. Not the threesome I was thinking of.
You love the menage a trois pizza?
I love that, man. It's a weird thing, and upside pineapple on it, upside down pineapple.
Like that, right?
No, it's great food. But then I highly recommend trying at least once the single hop. You can use that gift card for this as well if you want. You just need to figure out bad impressions today. It's going to be fun and easy.
All right. 208-287-1003, the number that you need to call if you'd like to play Bad Impressions for today and win this flying pie coming your way. We wish you all the best of luck. To the phones we go. Hello, the X.
Hello.
How you doing, man? What's your name?
Derek.
All right, Derek, you're up first, man. Good luck.
Sharon, I'm done.
The Aussie.
There you go. Yeah,
Done
man.
and done, Derek. Good job. Hang on 1 second. Flying pie coming your way. What were clues 2 and 3?
I'm the Prince of freaking darkness. And then,
And why is Ozzy Osbourne in the news?
Well, that big badass concert happened here, Nick, just a couple days ago. Did you get to see any of it? I mean, I didn't buy the pay-per-view.
I didn't buy the pay-per-view, but I got to see enough of it via YouTube that I've seen pretty much at least 2 or 3 songs from everybody that played at this point.
I didn't see anything of the Ozzy's performance.
It'll make you cry.
Yeah,
I mean, listen, it reminded me a lot of like Brian Johnson from AC/DC. He clearly didn't voice track, so he didn't do a tracking, so you got to give him some sort of credit there. But his voice is gone, which is why this was the last show. But still, it was incredibly emotional to watch, for sure.
Yeah, and seeing all the pictures of him, and man, he looks, old.
He is old.
And him and Sharon both. She said that she's retiring from the music industry now as well after this whole thing. Here's what I didn't realize is they were doing a lot of this for charity, Nick.
Yeah.
And the farewell concert generated close to $200 million for charity. Tom Morello, who's the music director there, announced on Instagram that over $190 million will benefit houses and hospitals for children. The funds will be divided among Cure Parkinson's, Birmingham Children's Hospital, and Acorn Children's Hospice. That's a huge chunk of change, man. And so big congratulations for them putting on an amazing show with some of the most prolific and amazing bands that the world has ever seen when it comes to rock music, and then raising a gargantuan amount of money for charity. That seems like a really good thing.
It is. It's a really good thing all the way around. And yeah, despite some maybe technical issues that they had, it's tough when you're doing 50-minute set changes and 50-minute sets with everybody, as we talked about on Monday. But listen, I think that went off about as well as it possibly could, considering what they were putting on.
Yeah, I saw some people we do know work with here in the industry that were there taking pictures, and that's the best look I got at it from those folks. So looks like it was a really, really cool thing.
For sure. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We'll wrap up the show here next on the X. Latest from Scott Stapp. That is Dead Man's Trigger here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Wrapping things up for this Wednesday. Ladies and gentlemen, the return of Big J. Wasn't it nice?
Yeah, the return of the Mac.
To have him back
Daddy
on the show and have some fun. We did have a chance to talk about watch out for eels coming up your backside, because then they could end up in your innards and eating your intestines, swimming around your stomach. Never a good thing. Also had a chance to give away some Social D tickets as well as some flying pie. That will continue tomorrow. But Big J, it does leave you with the floor, sir.
Yeah, I need to give an update here. My friends at Dilly George, they've moved shop. They've moved the operation down the road to 1114 West Front Street. Nick, you said you drove by, you saw the new sign up.
Yeah.
It's going to make parking a lot easier there at Deli George, and they're getting up all their smoking stuff so they can get back to the brisket sandwiches and the stuff that they do in the smoker. But everything else is on par and ready to go. So you'll be hearing more about their move here in the very near future.
Very nice. Sounds like a good place for lunch. Agree or disagree, Big J?
Damn right.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. Oh, I forgot. I gave a very enthusiastic thumbs up to The Ballad of Wallis Island. It's on Peacock, one of the best movies of the year. I absolutely adored it. Thank you very much for picking it out for me. You guys be just as nice to Big J next week, please. I beg of you, because it's a movie I had never heard of until you guys picked it for me. So thank you. But also, we will be back tomorrow, and Big J will be bringing a nerd alert with him. We'll see you then. Jason Drew's up next. It's the X Rocks.
All right, real talk. When's the last time you